How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Creepshow in Love. This is a one-shot for Valentine's Day, and I really do like expanding the holiday specials. Creepshow had done 2 of these for Christmas, and it does make sense to branch out a little bit. I don't know why we've never gotten a Halloween special. I mean, it is Creepshow, right? But hey, here we are with something outside of just the Christmas specials, so it's cool to see that. The biggest selling point with this one is it's actually 3 stories instead of 2. I believe they're all 10 pages long, so this is actually a little longer than a normal Creepshow issue, and that's kind of fun. However, the stories themselves are just kind of average. And that's the thing with the Creepshow book, is it's a book I constantly want to love more than I do, but the stories are usually just okay. I mean, in this one, we get a story about a serial killer using the bodies to make a perfect lover. It's a weird story that I just kind of left going, okay, that happened. Not terrible, but a B-side. The one in the middle about a love potion that runs amok, that's the best, but it doesn't have the room it needs to breathe or develop because Creepshow is so obsessed with keeping these stories so short. I mean, when we had Wolverton Station come out and we actually got a full issue, I had a little hope that Creepshow would change, but no, we're still getting these short and underdeveloped stories. But the absolute worst one is Penguin Avenger. In Penguin Avenger, a scientist kidnaps a lady, puts her brain into a penguin, and has a whole petting zoo of captive women. When I saw what this story was about, I literally paused and stared off into space like, oh my gosh, are we really doing that? And the thing is, I know Creepshow is supposed to be wacky and it's supposed to be off-kilter and creative, and I get that, but that doesn't mean that every idea we have is a good idea. It doesn't mean that there aren't ideas that are just flat out stupid, and this is one of the worst Creepshow stories since that one where a guy pooped out a baby. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it, and looking at the stories as a whole, an okay one, a pretty good one, and a bad one, that's kind of where Creepshow is, and I really wish this magazine would get better because it does have the potential, and it just staying in this okay zone really isn't good for it. But whatever, if you guys want to see me talk more about each individual story, I'll switch to the close-up camera, show you guys some of the story and the art. No major spoilers, but if you want to see more, let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Creepshow in Love. Let's bring this closer to the camera. We can see the red band across the top. I do love the working the title into the logo there. 2025 special issue number 1 at $4.99. Pan down to see the cover image, and we get to see the ghoul overshadowing this couple, and the eyes are out of their head and into their sundae. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's like, oh, they're on a date in this abandoned restaurant and there's maggots everywhere. There's something about this that's just a little too clean, and it's not drawn super luridly. I mean, I get the gag, but it's just, I don't know, it's not quite working for me. Flip it to the back and we get the Creepshow ghoul saying, I'll rip your heart out, and the special logo is printed back here as well, and there's where my fingers have started to wear away at the ink because Image Comics has really poor printing standards. Anyway, crack it open to the credits page, and we see that this is pink instead of yellow, and we get the credits for 3 different stories: Heart to Heart, Cursed Casanova, and Penguin Avenger. And we get some preview images down there. Now after that, we get into the stories proper. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to break down and analyze a bit of them and say my piece on a few plot points. I'll try to be avoiding the end though. So let's dive in. We open up with the Creepshow ghoul introducing Heart to Heart, and we see this guy looking at this happy couple, and he comes in and kills them with a machete. He then begins to operate, and we get to see that he is taking the couple and combining them into one Frankenstein thing, and he apparently is looking for love this way, and he says the problem is they never quite feel right, they never quite work, and it has something to do with them needing a more more pure heart. Well, he sees another couple and thinks maybe, just maybe, this will be the one. He has his instincts and he thinks surely this will be perfect, and because of what we know from the last couple, what he's planning to do, that's where we get the tension. And overall, I mean, there is something there, something with him talking and musing, and the ending of the story does have a interesting enough little end, but this definitely falls into the Creepshow category of, okay, that was kind of weird and that happened, I guess. I mean, yeah, at least it's a cool Frankenstein thing, but yeah, whatever with this one. Up next, we have Cursed Casanova, and this is probably the best one. We get to see this guy and someone's paying him a lot of money for a secret special love potion. But of course, there are a bunch of rules. You only need a tiny little bit of it, and make sure they're the only ones that see you. You don't want to use it in a crowd. You don't want to use too much of it. People can get obsessed with you. And he says, I'm selling this to you, but be very, very careful with it. Well, immediately after, he has an encounter with a parking attendant, and wouldn't you know it, just happens to break the vial and spill it all over himself, and now she is going to be wildly in love with him. He accidentally pushes her into traffic, and even though that should kill her, looks like the love is too strong. Like I said, it's got an interesting concept, you know, a love potion and that makes you go after the person, but it's like just this one attendant. I mean, that concept is so good, you know, and the way they hint at, you know, what if you used it in a crowd? And like, there could have been so much more done with this. And this is where Creepshow doing these super short stories really doesn't work for the magazine, and I really wish this story had the whole issue so it could elaborate and live up to its potential. But hey, creepy zombies in love with you, there's some fun to be had here. Like I said, easily the best one in here. And now we get to the worst one, and that is Penguin Avenger. Boy. We get this story where there's this girl, and she's going on a date with this guy, and it all seems to be doing okay. There's the Sunday, I guess that's where they got the inspiration for the cover from. Well, he goes in for a kiss and decides to inject her with a needle, and now we get some mad science-y stuff where he takes out her brain and begins to sew it into something. And right here I was a little excited. It's like, oh, we're doing a Reanimator style story or something, but then you flip the page and he put her into a penguin. You know, there's a thing where, like, Creepshow can be wild and crazy and over the top and anything can happen, but that doesn't mean anything should happen, and that doesn't mean that every silly idea is an idea that works. And this is a panel that I got to it and literally froze, and I'm like, this is really where we're going? This is really what we're doing? Yeah, this is a bad idea. But it of course is going to be a try to escape my weird imprisonment. He's got a bunch of other girls and has formed like a petting zoo for them, and she's going to be traumatized and try to plan her revenge. Overall, not too many surprises here. It's just a really dumb idea, and I was not a fan of that one at all. It's one of the worst Creepshow stories I've read in a while. Overall, though, we got one weird but okay story. We got a pretty decent but underdeveloped one in the middle, and then a really just off-kilter idea at the end. Creepshow continues to be just okay, and I really wish there was something more for this magazine. It's something I want to like more than I do, but as it stands, it's okay, and here's hoping that if we are doing these holiday specials for more than just Christmas, let's hope we get a Halloween one in there, right? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Creepshow playlist where you can see me review some of the past issues as well as the other specials and some episodes of the TV show. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.